Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Webb, director of the Johnstown Symphony Chorus, and welcome to this new little web series that's going to allow you to meet some of the members of the Johnstown Symphony Chorus. And the first person we're going to talk to in this new little web series is a member of our alto section, Annie Parlock. Annie, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Great, excellent. Annie, we want you to be able to tell our patrons a little bit about yourself. So why don't you start with that? Like, what do you do? What is your occupation?
Um,
And how long have you been a member of the symphony chorus?
right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I was a teacher before that. I taught elementary school, second grade, but when I had my first daughter, I stopped teaching and I've been home with them ever since. I have three daughters that are 9 and 7 and 5. 9.5, 7.5, 5.5. I would get in trouble if they heard me.
Yes.
So they are, I have three little girls and I've been home with them. Thank goodness I've had that opportunity to be with them. I joined the symphony chorus in the fall of 2010, which was, we had just moved here. We moved here, we had our oldest daughter was then 4 or 5 months old. And it was mentioned to me by a family member that the symphony chorus might be a good thing for me to give a try. And I'm really glad I did, especially just having moved here. It was really nice to get to do something other than nurse a baby 24/7. So it was nice to get to be out and do something. And just, I've always been involved in music. I met my husband in choir and he's a choir director. So not being involved in music isn't really an option for me. So
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you is how did you get involved, generally speaking, in music? Were you always active as a kid?
I've been in choir for as long as I can remember. I played in the band off and on. But choir's been what I've loved the most. I was in choir all through school, through high school, through college. I sang in the chamber choir at my college, which was an awesome experience. It's just, music's always been something that's been very important for me.
Can you tell me a little bit about what singing in the symphony chorus means to you? And also a little bit about what you think about our role in the Johnstown community as the Johnstown Symphony Chorus.
For me specifically, it's a connection, I guess. Being a stay-at-home mom can be very limiting. I've made some amazing friends, just in the mom community, I guess, but it's been really nice to have somebody I can see in the grocery store and say, hey, I know you, or just walking in. I haven't been able to sing constantly for the last 10 years because when I'd have a new baby, I'd have to take a break for a little while. But then when I would come back every time, everybody was always so happy to see me. It feels good to be appreciated, I guess, or to be noticed as somebody other than somebody's mom, I guess. So it's been really nice for me to have that connection and that belonging with the people that sing together. And in the community, I think it's also important. I think that the concerts with the chorus probably, I don't know this, but I think they might sell even better just because people like to have words with their music. The symphony is fantastic and getting to hear them play is a great thing, but getting to see the people singing, getting to have a story told to them a little bit differently, I think is important. And getting to see people that you know from other contexts, like people that you may work with or that go to church with you or something. It's neat to get to see a different version of somebody's life, getting to see a different part of their life as they sing in the chorus.
Yeah, I think you are correct to a degree about hearing the story. We have spent a lot of time in rehearsal lately before this all started, talking about what is it that you are singing? What are you saying in the text? And our job as singers, we have a harder job, at least in my opinion, as compared to the orchestra players, because of what you said. We have text, and people understand the text, and the text is important in telling the story. And if we don't get that right, we really haven't done our jobs. And so that is, a good observation. That's an important thing for us as singers to deal with. Along those lines, what are you listening to right now? Like, we are going through a time in our world that's unprecedented, really. Can you talk to me a little bit about, are you listening to music to get you through that? And what are you listening to? And sort of how you think the role of music functions now in that regard? Is it helping you to listen to music?
I'm never in charge of the music in my house. I have three little kids. So it's generally whatever CD they've pulled. So my middle daughter keeps pulling random CDs off the shelf, and she'll put it in, and it's the library one. So they're doing bounce rhymes with stuffed animals, and so it's not exactly the way you mean it, but it is still helpful. It's not, oh, I'm listening to this piece because it speaks to my soul. It's, I'm listening to Riding on a Pony because that's what my daughters are doing, and it's still a good thing. It doesn't have to be Tchaikovsky to be meaningful. So
Right.
in my house right now, that's what we're listening to. Now I can say my oldest daughter, we have a Roku enabled television in the basement, and my oldest daughter gets up way earlier than anybody else wants to. And I'll go down in the mornings and I will find her listening to classical music and reading a book. She'll have turned on a jazz Roku station and is listening to music. So she definitely takes the opportunity to use the music to get through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think my kids anyway so my kids are young like your kids. So I have a 12-and-a-half-year-old
Not the first time.
and a 9 and I guess at this point like 9 and 7/8. And so music has been a great distraction. My daughter especially listens to music all day long, and a lot of it is not my particular cup of tea. But she listens to, man, everything. Like right now, her favorite thing to listen to at bedtime when she's going to bed is the soundtrack to Waitress, the Broadway musical Waitress,
That's so funny.
and with Sarah Bareilles. And she just knows all the songs and she just listens to it. But it is, for the kids anyway, seemingly a sort of great distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it is the same for me too, as an adult, just to take a moment to get away from everything and just listen to something, lose yourself in the beauty of something. And here, I tell my students all the time, it's important to listen to things multiple times. Even though I've heard the same piece of music 100 times, seemingly I always find something else within it. You never get everything upon one listen. You're always finding something new. So music can be a really, really great distraction in that regard. Very thankful for that. Well, Annie, we look forward to the day in which we can reconvene and start singing again. I think you mentioned it earlier, but it's one of the things that has been very difficult during this time, the connection with other people. For those of you who don't know, we typically meet every Monday for 2.5 hours and sing. And quite frankly, to a degree, maybe I personally, I don't want to speak for anybody else, maybe personally, you take that for granted just a little bit until you don't have it, and so now that we are going through a time period in which we don't have it, man, I miss that. I miss everybody and miss seeing everybody and singing and music making in general. It's been very difficult not to have that.
I could honestly take or leave the concert. It's
Yeah.
rehearsals and getting to get into everything, and really the sight reading day is my favorite. The first day we get the piece of music and I get to read through it. That's my favorite day. So the concert is, I mean, it's nice, but, and after that you get new music. So I get to start again. But the process of getting to work it and to really get it to sound the way it needs to sound is my favorite.
I always call it choral Christmas. The first day you get the folder with all the music and you're so excited and you open it up. You're like, what are we doing? Like, what gifts are in here this time?
I love it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Annie. I appreciate it. And tell everybody over there, I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. And hopefully we will be able to reconvene and sing again soon.
I hope so.
Thanks, Annie.
Thanks.